Good morning, guys. My name is Miss Dupree, and I'm here with day 2 for week 2 in Unit 4, and we are studying jobs in our community. Today, and the rest of this week, we're working on answering research question number 1. And just to refresh your mind, research question number 1 is to define and describe this job. So remember, this week I'm using firefighters as my example. You guys are going to be using whatever job you chose to complete all the stuff that I'm about to show you, okay? But I'm just going to show you how it would look for me. Just a reminder of some words that you might not be familiar with. We talked about what purpose was, the reason why the job was created. We talked about what responsibilities are. So the responsibilities, the things that job needs to do every day in order to complete its job. The specialty, maybe some sort of special training that you might need for that job. And the community, who does that job service? Okay. What community does it serve and how does it serve the community? So yesterday we filled out our first FPO. Today we're going to fill out our second FPO. And if we have anything that we might need to add to that first FPO, this is when we would go back. So I want to share a book with you guys real quick. It is from the ARC bookshelf. This book is called What Do Firefighters Do? So I specifically, when I got on there, I kind of looked for books that would tell me what firefighters do in order to define and describe their job. So, firefighters put out fires. Firefighters have to move quickly when there is a fire. They go to fires in a fire truck. Firefighters use hoses to put water on fires. Firefighters use ladders too. Ladders help them get to high places. So there he is on his ladder. Firefighters help people get out of burning buildings. Firefighters wear special clothes. The clothes keep them safe. They also wear boots. Firefighters wear helmets to keep their heads safe, because if they're going in a burning building, something might fall down on them because it's burning and it's being destroyed, right? Picture some of their helmets. Firefighters are brave. All right, so let's see. What did we find interesting that we might want to put on our wow chart? I find it interesting that they have to even wear special boots, steel-toed boots. And maybe it was interesting that they have special gear and that they have to use ladders because sometimes they might have to do something in a fire that is way up high. So those are some things that I wanted to add to my wow chart. So now let's look at our FPO for today. So our FPO says a description of. So remember, my job is firefighters. That's what I'm studying. So right here, I'm going to type firefighters. You would type teacher, scientist, doctor, veterinarian, whatever it is. So it says draw and label a diagram of a person in this job. Include all the necessary clothing and equipment. So I used a diagram that I found online. So you guys can either use a diagram that you found online or you can draw your own diagram, much like we did in the bug unit, but we're labeling all their special equipment. So let's look at some of that equipment. We see their helmet right there. He has an air mask. He has a turnout coat. This is an air hose, and the hose needs to connect to the air tank. That's where all the air is stored. He has turnout pants, so that is their special fireproof pants and jacket. He needs a water hose, obviously. He might need a rope because he might need to use it to climb somewhere. First aid kit, because remember, they don't only just put out fires, they also help sick or injured. Special boots, They might need an axe because they might need to break a door down to get in to rescue somebody. Special gloves to protect their hands from fire. Reflective stripes. Those are important for when they're in the fire. It can be dark and smoky, so it's easier to see those reflective stripes in the dark. And a face shield. So over here, you need to kind of break down what's in it. So what I did was I kind of broke it down by their clothes, their basic equipment, and then the tools that they need to do their job. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is clothes. All right, so let me think about their special clothes. They have to have a helmet. So these are the things that they have to wear to protect their bodies, right? Helmet, special coat, and boots that are fireproof. And it needs to be fireproof to protect their skin, right? They also need, let's see, special gloves and an air mask, obviously, because they can't breathe in all that smoke. So those are the basic things that they're going to need when they're entering into a fire, right? They're going to need to wear these things. So I broke that down into clothes. Right here, I'm going to break it into their equipment. So that is stuff that we are used to seeing them. So I'm going to write equipment. Now, when I think of equipment, the first thing I'm going to think of is a fire truck that gets them to the fire, right? The water hose, and probably ladders, and a first aid kit. So those are all things that that's different equipment that they're going to need, right? And then I'm also going to think about their tools that they might use, right? So we see some of his tools. Oh, and for I also forgot I need to add for equipment is the air tank, right? That's pretty important. So now let's think about their tools. So we know that a firefighter, we can see in our diagram, and we've read a little bit that they might need a rope. They might need a first aid kit, I read, so that they can help people, right? So those are two of the tools that I know that they're going to need. We also know they might need an axe or something sharp to help them break down things in order to get to people. So those are some of the tools that I've read. Now I might do some more reading today and I'll be able to add to this list, okay? So this is what you should kind of have for your second FPO today. You need to have a description of them. So you're going to need a diagram, whether it's drawn or clip art, and then break it down into different parts like I did. What kind of clothes do they need? What kind of equipment do they need? What kind of tools they need? So you need to think about all the necessary things that they have to have in order to do their job. Because if a firefighter didn't have his special fireproof coat, he couldn't do his job. He couldn't go in and rescue people, right? He might be able to pour water on the fire, but he wouldn't be able to go inside and get anybody. Maybe if he didn't have a first aid kit, he might not be able to help somebody who's injured or sick. So he or she has to have these things in order to help them. All right, guys, I hope you have a great day.